Upgrade your shit.
Hey, what's up? I'm Nata, what of the Upgrade guys. Today we're going to talk about knees. In Jiu Jitsu, we find ourselves in this degree of knee flexion a lot, which is very deep knee flexion. That means the knee's bending. So if we're thinking about that and we're constantly finding ourselves here being loaded onto this joint, but we can't bend our knee, that's never going to work well for us. So if we have that issue, one way we can start to address that, first of all, I'll check. I'm saying, hey, if I'm here in this position, how close can I bring my heel to my butt? If you get here and you're going like this and then you're starting to cramp, or you're here and you get not much further past that, ask yourself, who gave you permission to be in this position with load then? If you can't bend your knee on your own, you haven't trained your knee to be strong there. And if you haven't trained your knee to be strong there, you shouldn't be asking it to do things that a strong knee does. So if I can't bend my knee to that position, one thing that I can do is I can lay down. And if you can't bend your knee enough for you to even reach back, then bring your knee closer, bend it to whatever you can, reach back, then slide into this position. You can also use a towel or your belt or your gi or anything to pull you here. So I'm here. One important distinction is this. Look where my hand is. I'm going to feel less stretch on the front side of my leg if I hold here as opposed to if I hold here. So that doesn't mean that you should be holding here or here. That means use the one that's appropriate for you. If this already feels shitty for you, then don't try to go to the advanced one and go here. If this is easy, then you can go here. I'm essentially holding myself in this position. So from here, I'm going to start to, first of all, I'm going to let this stretch settle. So I'm going to sit here for 2 minutes again. Respect the 2-minute rule. In that 2 minutes, I'm breathing. At the end of the 2 minutes, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to pull my foot towards my butt, but I'm going to try to push my foot out to stop myself from moving. I'm creating an isometric contraction, trying to push my foot away, but my hand is resisting. I'm going to ramp up to my greatest, safest effort over 15 seconds. At the end, I'm going to pull my heel to my butt. If I had to have my hand leave, how would I keep it there? I should feel this work. I'm going to hold that for about 15. Then I'm going to do that again. It's important to note, though, that when I'm in this position, and I want to keep my hip the same distance from the ground. So my hip bone here, as I do this motion, I don't want this. Because I'm going to try to cheat myself by doing that. Or I'm going to try to steal the motion from there. So if you feel yourself doing that, squeeze your butt. Point your belt buckle towards your face, posterior pelvic tilt, and then do that motion. And you might need to keep some attention to keeping that hip placement there while you try to bow this tissue here. So that's the first option. After you've done that, because that needs to happen for you to gain range back, then you can simply go here. And this is an easy way to start to load this. So first of all, if you don't have the amount of big toe dorsiflexion for you to be here, then you're going to do this version. And if that's still not appropriate, then you're going to put a block here. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to use the range we earned, right? So let's say that doesn't mean that you have to be here. So if you're more comfortable right here, then that's where the block goes. You've got to use the angle in your knee that's appropriate for you. For me, this is appropriate. So from here, what I start to do is I'm light on my fingertips and I open my chest. I start to push my feet into the ground. And I'm just going to hold that for some time. I'm going to get used to using this tissue in this position. At the end of that, same thing, I'm just going to squeeze my heel to my butt and I'm using my stuff on the other side and I just want to feel it working in that deep range of motion. The efforts here shouldn't be super hard. These are the inputs that you can add in throughout the day. Again, if you're sitting and watching class, somebody's explaining, or you're just on the side resting, you can be doing this stuff instead of just sitting there. These little things are going to be game changers in terms of how you teach your body to do the things you want to do. So try that stuff out. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at The Upgrade Guys. There's also classes for sale on theupgradeguys.com. Keep moving.
Upgrade your shit.